Hello everyone, this is Kizmick Monster and I'm here with Abergwine, and today we are discussing Zootopia. Was Zootopia created to reach out to other furries as a target audience?
Well, I don't really think it was created specifically for furries. I think it was mostly created just to reach out to parents first and foremost, because kids aren't going to drive themselves to the movie theater, and then definitely marketed to kids. And then from there, I think kind of kids at heart, I guess furries kind of fall into that category. I did actually hear of a really interesting sort of marketing strategy where there was an email that circulated around from someone claiming to be a representative of Disney, and in that email they requested fursuiters to go and take pictures in front of the Zootopia display at movie theaters and use certain hashtags to sort of promote the film. And later on, when they were asked about this, Disney had no knowledge of such an email, which I don't know if it was purposeful or not, but I thought that was pretty interesting. What about you?
I reckon, at the same time, I reckon it was, but it wasn't, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because Disney is obviously meant for kids, so they're obviously targeting kids as well as some other people. And furries may have just slipped under to that category. Some furries, there was lots of furries out there saying that Zootopia was for furries, but we don't actually know because, well, we didn't create the actual movie.
Yeah, I really can't believe in any stretch that it was created specifically for furries. I mean, I argue, my own personal philosophy is you can't really call it furry unless it was created by a furry, or like the artist explicitly states that I created this for furries or as a furry, something like that. So I really don't think technically any Disney film could be considered furry in that respect, but that's just my 2 cents. So I guess I'll introduce the next point. What impact do you see the film having on the furry community and or the general public?
I guess with the general public, it's sort of showing us obviously how furries are, I guess, because we are basically humans, but we're into animals with human characteristics, and that's basically what the movie's about.
I definitely think it could be a good tool for kind of introducing non-furries to what furries are like, and hopefully kind of breaking down some of the stereotypes that are out there about furries. I think for the furry community, I've already seen a huge number of posts of people being like, oh yeah, I went to see Zootopia with my kid and well, now I think I'm a furry. And I've also seen a lot of new fan art pop up from the film, people like doing a Zootopia version of their Fursona where they'll play around with the proportions. So if their character is a fox, it's like a now 3-foot tall fox versus like a 8-foot tall Cape buffalo. So I think that's pretty interesting. And I guess for the general public, I can't really see the film having, well, other than being a good influence on what the furry community is, I can't really see it having much more influence beyond that. Though I do think it could be a very good place for parents to kind of open up the conversation about really heavy topics that the film covered, like racism, stereotyping, racial profiling. It would be a really good way to start that, because I don't have kids, I don't have any plans to have any kids anytime soon, but I cannot imagine having to start that conversation with any kid of any age. So I really hope the film can be helpful in that respect.
I do reckon that obviously after the film was published, I reckon it did create a couple more furries, because there's so many people out there that actually don't know about furries, and maybe seeing the movie they might be like, oh yeah, well, I'm a furry. The film's tone was originally much darker as it focused on giving predators shock collars that kept them in check.
I feel like that could have been a really interesting concept for a film, just not a Disney film. Certainly not like an animated Disney film. I feel like it could have been maybe like Don Bluth, the guy that did like All Dogs Go to Heaven or An American Tail. I feel like he kind of touched on some darker stuff in his animation, but I don't know. But I feel like the final film did have the right amount of darkness to it without being a complete drag, and I do like the trend that Disney's kind of going in with their films. Not every last movie is ending on this sort of like, oh, everything's just happily ever after, go after the castle and whatever. The problems, there are still problems in the film that aren't quite resolved by the end of it, and that's okay. And I like that. I like it's definitely going in a more realistic direction without making it so realistic that it's just boring. And I like that.
I thought it was actually really interesting how they were going to put shock collars on the predators, because obviously, yeah, there is like predators in the world and then there's like the prey, but I think, especially if it, because it's a Disney movie, it's quite, I don't know, violent, I guess, because in the behind the scenes there's actually animation where there was a bear or something that got shocked for, I don't know, some reason. But you can actually see the expression on its face that it was in pain. And when it first got the collar, it was so excited, it didn't really know what it was for until it actually got shocked there and then. And then its whole point of view just changed, and it was like so sad to actually see that they were actually originally going to put that in the movie.
Yeah, I've seen the clip you're talking about, and it's honestly pretty hard to watch. Though I'm not gonna lie, not even like 10 minutes into the film, I was just bawling my eyes out because I'm just such a wuss. I was just like, she's having her dreams just crushed by this meanie fox. Oh, how dare they? And I'm just such a wuss when it comes to Disney films, but oh man.
What was your favorite scene in the movie?
Oh goodness. I hadn't really thought about it actually. I think my favorite part was probably where Judy came back after realizing that she made a horrendous mistake and was like, I'm sorry, I suck, I'm terrible, and I just thought it was really cute how she was kind of like just kind of just after the pen. It was just really cute. That was absolutely adorable. I think that was the one point in the movie that I wasn't crying, so. But yeah. What about yours?
I think it's actually where she's on the train, because you get to see a lot of effects happen there and a lot of the places around Zootopia. So, and the graphics are really good in that scene too.
Oh yeah, I totally remember the scene where she like gets off the train and finally gets into the foot traffic there. I actually went to Manhattan a couple years ago, and I guess going from relatively small town Texas to New York, it was just crazy. It's like, whoa, people, you know, it was pretty awesome. They really captured the awe in that scene really well. But yeah.
Thanks for watching, and I'd like to give a special thanks to Abigail for joining me today, and we will see you next time.